Greetings, everyone. I am Xano, and I don't want to alarm anyone here. I feel like I owe my audience an apology, but not in the way you may think. I've sort of been out of town recently. I've had other Brotherhood things that I've needed to deal with here, and due to that, that means that I've gone a few days without or a few weeks without actually having shows, and I feel like I've let a few of my audience down. Maybe that's just me being paranoid. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, just not really keeping up the way that I should be. And I guess I've just had a lot of things on my mind here, but I think it's about time that I just have another talk with my audience here. So let me at least say here, first of all, that I'm still going to be doing my show. I'm still going to be improvising every Friday and Saturday in SI7 as I usually do. 7 bills and all that. But let me at least say here too that trying to think. I've usually made it my own priority here that I actually do my show consistently every single Friday and every single Saturday in SI7. And just, there have been a few times, get around these people here, there have been a few times that I've actually missed that, and there have been times that it's been unavoidable. I have other things that I need to do, and I feel like it's this thing of, how often can I take time for myself, and yet how often does that mean not having a show Friday or Saturday for taking time for myself? And I mean, I feel like I've been fairly consistent with actually performing. I mean, I've been doing this for at least 2 years now, and come this next October, that'll mean 3 years. I realize too that my cast has come and gone, and sometimes it's just been me, sometimes it's just been myself, Azurenta, and Lice, and I'd like to have a bigger cast. I'd like to be able to teach other people how to do this skill. I'd like to be able to show people how to improvise and help make their days a little bit better. I don't know what it is. I keep hearing about this rumor of a war coming between the Alliance and Horde and everything, and it seems like to me that we just finished putting down our blades with fighting against the Legion. Now I suddenly just missed being able to take a big bite out of Argus. Hump. Just that big red star in the sky. Seems like we just barely finished this fight against the Legion, and now it seems like that animosity between the Alliance and Horde has suddenly come up here and everything again, and we just can't stop fighting. The Horde hates the Alliance apparently hates the Horde and everything. And see, I just can't help but thinking, just who out there doesn't want to fight? Who out there would just rather live their life out in peace and just maybe work together to make Azeroth a better place? I mean, I look around here, and I doubt a lot of people would actually listen to me because they're so concerned about politics and concerned about who they lost in wars, who they lost in battles, fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, children. This is going back to what it was I was talking about with one of my previous vlogs I had done, that there's a reason that I choose not to fight. If I have to, I will. I know how to conjure ice, I know how to conjure fire and arcane magic occasionally, but I look around here, but I don't ever see myself being an archmage or somebody that would fight just on a battlefield, because I mean, we've lost so many people in fights and Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basin and everything, and what's the point of keeping that fight going? And just, why can't we just sit down and sit around a table to make this place better, as opposed to using sword and staff to hurt each other? But this just comes back to the reason of why I improvise as opposed to fighting. I feel like I can reach more people making my cheesy jokes and doing my improv scenes in my show, as opposed to, I don't know, just fighting. And I realize I'm being a little bit redundant here. Huh. That is definitely an interesting painting there. What are we looking at? Come on, camera. Get over here. Is that Argus? Well, lady, you've definitely got a nice picture there, though I can't figure out what that is. Anyways, time to stop being distracted. What else? So, I realized I was getting a little bit off topic here, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm making just a bad apology video, but just at the same time I realize that there have been a handful of Saturdays and Fridays that have gone without the Brotherhood actually performing, and that's on me. I still have more friends to make. I still have more audience to entertain and everything. This isn't the biggest deal in the world by any means. It isn't something that's going to be world-ending, but there are going to be a few occasions where I'll have to occasionally miss shows here, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that somebody's there to perform, but there may come a few times where I just won't be able to have shows, and that's just my fault here. But let me at least say here, too, that I'm going to do my best to keep having shows, because I enjoy them. It is my literal stress relief for when I do this. And I just take a look out here. I really like being in Stormwind. It's a nice, peaceful place, and I don't want to see that ever change. And hopefully, I'm going to see if I can go around the Stormwindian Embassy, see if there's anybody around there. But for anybody here new to this, my name is Xano. I host a small improv show called Mr. Smite's Improv, where it's about an hour-long show over at SI7 over behind me, and I spend an hour just making jokes and making people laugh. I've been seeing things with these Lightforged Draenei, Void Elves, and I've been hearing rumors that something's happening with Darnassus. I don't know, I don't have a lot of information about this, but I've just been seeing a lot of elves here lately. I don't know what that means, but let me at least say, for anybody that comes to my show, I want this to be a safe place. A safe place where you can just let your guard down for about 60 minutes, let my cast entertain you for 60 minutes, and then maybe I can help make your days a little bit better. I'm not an architect, I'm not a builder or anything, but I do know how to entertain. I do know how to make people happy. So if you're if you're in Stormwind, if you hear one of my brothers doing some barking on one of my rockets and everything, please come to my show. Please come, and if you're just feeling bad, if you're um, just life has you down and everything, please come to my show. Um, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't like my show, but just I do this to entertain you guys. Um, I still have a lot to learn as an entertainer, as an improviser, but I want to do everything that I can to make sure that when you come to Stormwind, you know that Mr. Smite will take care of you, and the Xanoic Brotherhood. Um, and one other thing that I do too is that for every show, I usually give away some Netherweave bags, usually enough for just everyone participating. And then I've been giving away something that I usually like to call the super secret prize, which usually takes the form of a little titanium coin as sort of a keepsake, but then that keepsake is essentially 1,000 gold. I'm not the richest person in the world. I'm not Mr. Moneybags or anything, but I have enough money that I can regularly give that money away. I'm trying to think here for a moment. I'm going to try something over this next month of, I think, August. Depends on what happens this week and coming up in the next weeks or so. But I think what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to say this as an apology because I generally don't like issuing apologies unless I feel like I absolutely have to. But I'll say this as sort of me making it up to everyone here that that have just essentially missed out on my shows. I'm going to have some more coins prepared, and for everybody that comes to my shows after this next week, I will give 1,000 gold too. Because again, maybe this is just me being a little bit paranoid here. Maybe this is just me feeling like I've let some of my audience down. But I want to make your guys' lives a little bit better. Even if that means that I'm just paying for your dinner at the Blue Recluse or the Pig and Whistle. Storm and Guard. That's just it. I want to make your lives a little bit better. And I usually like to pay things forward a little bit. I like to see that maybe paying things forward, maybe you guys can help somebody else. Maybe you guys can, I don't know, just help other people. I guess I feel like that I see the Horde over there in Orgrimmar and everything, but I don't see why I have to hate the Horde. Why can't we have peace? And yes, I get that there's this constant battle, there's this constant war between the two factions and everything, but I ask this in all sincerity, why do we have to keep fighting? I mean, I see Tauren, I see Orcs and the Argent Dawn and some of these other factions and everything, the Cenarian Circle, and those groups are able to work together towards a common goal. But maybe this is just one of these things of just something that has to be worked towards. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking a little bit here. I'm just maybe thinking out loud a little bit. Is it so unrealistic? Is it so unrealistic that we can work together as opposed to fight? I realize I'm not King Anduin here. I'm not the one in charge, but I know how to make people happy. I know that this place is really big. This place is I've definitely seen a lot of weird, interesting things here. I've seen I've seen those void elves come into the picture. I've seen many hardships, but I've seen much happiness too. Still have a lot of friends to make here. Oh, look at their cute little puppies. Oh, there goes the puppies. Those. Oh, I'm getting distracted by those big brown eyes. Oh, that man is very lucky to have those pooches. But anyways, enough of me feeling a little bit down here. Let me at least say to anybody within the sound of my digital voice that if you come to Mr. Smite's improv and just all you get out of it is just a bunch of cheesy jokes and just a couple of laughs here and there, I will feel like I've done my part. I'll feel like that I will be happy. If you get nothing else out of this other than just maybe a nice dinner or maybe a couple of netherweave bags, I'll be happy too. And let me at least say here, I don't intend for, if you don't want to keep those bags, you don't have to keep those bags. If you want to sell them, if you want to give them away, I have more where that came from. I'd like to give away a couple of pets occasionally. I have hope for the future. I have hope that Azeroth can get better, be better, and we as a people can grow together. But to all my friends here, thank you for those who are still here. I'm not depressed by any means, but I know for a fact I can do better. I have a lot of ideas that I have coming out. I have a lot of videos that I want to make. And I am still trying to figure out the best way to release those videos. I'm going to have an update video come out here fairly soon, sort of describing what's going to be happening. And then we're going to be figuring out here how to actually release those videos on a often occasion, because I still have a lot of entertaining that I want to do here. But I think that's enough here for right now. But for everyone at the Brotherhood, for Mr. Smite and myself, I want to say thank you. Thank you for spending some time here with me in SI7 over there. And let's see where the future takes us. And here's not only to 3 years with Mr. Smite, but to 100 years with Mr. Smite, 200 years, wherever. Thank you very much for your time. I am Xano, and like I always say, Dionysaka Arcanon Poros. Have a safe evening. Good night.